Perfect. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yes, today I am going to be taking you through my essays. That will be the second part of these essays. Yes, so if you're a person who is having issues with writing, yeah, this video might be of help to you. So I'll be starting with reading my essays. I'll read my essays both for masters and for PhD because they are two different categories of people here watching. I will start with the one for masters. You see how how I wrote because I was so young, and I think I was kind of unrealistic. So I am aware that there are so many candidates as well who are applying for these master's scholarships compared to those who are applying for the PhD. So I'll start with those essays and then I read the masters and then we do some analysis and then I will be answering all the questions I have received so far regarding this scholarship. And then after, shall we do? No, nothing. Only that. So let us start. I will first open the ones for masters, and in this video we are going to read objectives during the award, then your career plans in the 5 years after the award, and then your long-term career plans. So let's go for it. Master's scholarship, objectives during the award. For those who have not, watched the video where I read the first part of my essays, but the part I read was for PhD. Yeah, I advise you to go and read that because it will be easy for you to connect what I read before to what I'm going to be reading today. All right, so let's go. What are the objectives during the award? And this is how I answered it. With my past opportunities, I have always tried to work hard in my academics, to learn something transferable to Africa, to better my networking, and to maintain the trust sponsors have in me. I want to entirely focus on my studies to enrich my knowledge about the pathology and biology of carcinoma, its major causes, its prevention, treatment, and care. Additionally, I intend to improve on my social, critical thinking, communication, and leadership skills, which will be key. Oh, sorry, critical thinking, communication, and leadership skills, which will be key in my daily life and in my long term goals of bettering the Ugandan healthcare system. Equally important, I look forward to sharpening my adroitness in research, reading, writing, data analysis, observation, and presentation, which are all necessary for my career. Studying in the UK will not only enable me to spread my wings further, but also give me a chance to boost my confidence, which I equally need to approach various experienced individuals as I prepare for the late stage cancer prevention projects. Remember that I talked about this in the essays above. So if you missed this, just go above and check. Um, yeah. Okay, let's continue. Whilst aiming at obtaining excellent grades that will be influential when applying for further education, I intend to forge international connections, to experience and embrace new cultures, since variety is a spice of life. With all these great experiences from Uganda, Japan, Rwanda, and then the UK, I'll be prepared for an international career. However, I intend to take it back to Africa, especially Uganda, to raise the pride and set new standards for Ugandan cancer prevention, treatment, and research fields or treatment, whatever it is. But I just stopped there. Treatment and research standards for, yeah, it makes sense. I don't have to add anything there. Yeah, so that's where I stopped. If I'm to add anything, I do not really think that there is anything else I would add. And by that time I was young and I wasn't really, good so good at writing as I am now. So that's what I could write. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, you have the right to, to just, do your own analysis and just think what you'd have added or what you would have deleted from that, depending on how you see things and how you want your thing to be. And remember that we are in different fields. So this is just, a guide. You just, trying to obtain some things you can include in your essay. Oh, I mentioned about these projects. Okay, what kind of projects can I do in my line or in my field that I can talk about here? You understand that? So it's just for you to get some points to add in your own, but this will be for a different field. Okay, career plans in 5 years after or following the award. After my master's degree with fundamental knowledge in carcinoma, well, before I joined, my master's degree, I thought that all cancers, are under carcinoma, but that's not the case. That's not the case. We have carcinoma, sarcoma, lymphomas. We have different types depending on the origins of cancers. So, yeah, when I was writing, I didn't, think so much about it. Yeah, but they accepted that. Yeah. So let me read it again. After my master's degree with fundamental knowledge in carcinoma, I intend to embark on my PhD to exclusively focus on cancer research. Cancer research is remarkably broad, so I want to converge my efforts into the molecular and the cellular biology of breast cancer, one of the most commonly diagnosed cancer and the top cause of cancer death in Africa and worldwide. The incidence ratios or the mortality ratios of breast cancer, especially in low and middle income countries, rise yearly, yet primary care services, pathology and treatment services are just developing. Investigating the origins of these cancers and how we can prevent them will allow me to actively contribute to appropriate and affordable means of reducing the risk. After my PhD, remember that you have to be realistic in this. The PhD is about 3 to 4 years, right? And they're asking for my career plans, 5 years after the award. So if I talk about after my PhD, I'm still in that time range, right? We continue. After my PhD, I am planning to do an internship at a Ugandan Cancer Institute so that I apply the skills I learned and familiarize myself with the Ugandan health sector. While studying the Ugandan health system, I aim to spot the major gaps to fill alongside the ones I already know from my previous internship experiences. Further, I want to use the time to lay my foundation towards my goals of educating Ugandans about cancer and their environment, involving community people in our activities of screening cancers early and promoting the use of vaccines for all possible cancers. So that's the end of my second part. Oh, it's really noisy. Yeah, it's fine now. That's where my essays stop. It's becoming noisy. Let me close this window. Sorry, guys. But definitely, I don't have enough light. So this will be crazy. Oh. Let me open to have better light, better, better lighting. Okay, yeah. So that's where my second part stops. And what I have to say here is that when I said that, I'm planning to do an internship after my PhD, that's kind of unreal. You can do an internship after your PhD, but I mean, I've done a lot of internships already. So after my PhD, I should be working, right? Yeah, I should be working honestly, not an internship. Yeah, so when I revised my essays, after my award, I was like, come on, I can't do an internship. I've done so many internships. Yeah. So yeah, well, it depends, but I don't think that I would do an internship after my PhD. Yeah, looking for money, working, definitely. And most internships are not that really paying. Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the last part of career plans. That will be long-term career plans. So this is how I wrote it. I want to finally settle in cancer research. Cancer has become a tremendous burden, not only emotionally, but also on family finances and the national economies. The global dilemma of cancer worldwide rises daily with elevating deaths and the high paucity of successful anti-cancer drugs. From the 2018 Global Cancer Study, about 18.1 million new cancer cases and 9.6 million cancer deaths were estimated last year. For this complex disease, I want to be part of the global researchers who fight towards a cancer free world. Many people who are battling with malignant tumors are from a lower social rank. Through, through education, projects, and research, I seek to see all people having access to cancer information, prevention procedures, treatment, and care services. Even though I want to develop new cancer drugs that are inexpensive but effective in brackets while doing my research, I aim to position everything I'll do on reducing the risk of contracting cancer in the first place. Because cancer is exceedingly stubborn and its treatment is not only expensive for most of us, but also comes with varying side effects. So that's where my part ends. And remember that this is for masters. So what can I say here? Well, for the long term, it was shorter compared to the career plans after 5 years. I mean, 5 years after the award. But even if it's shorter, the point is very clear. So what I have to say here is, do not write so many words. Yeah, I mean, as long as your point is well stated, why do you have to over explain yourself? You don't have to do that. And try to be simple. I have read my essays, and I think the only hard word there is maybe, let me see, maybe posty. Yeah, only that. But all other words are really, really simple. So do not complicate, your essays. Don't use extremely hard words. They will still understand it, and that will save time. Because some people who help to recruit, scholars or select scholars are alumni who have just graduated. Yeah, and not all of us are really good at English. Not all of us are in literature. So make it simple. Yeah, so now I will go to my essays for my PhD, and then I'll be answering most of the questions that I've been asked about the scholarship. That's done. Go down. I get this one up. Yes, perfect. Okay, so let's go for the PhD one. What are the objectives during the award? Here is my answer. With the Commonwealth Scholarship, I plan to entirely focus on my studies to enrich my knowledge about the biology of tumors and its treatment modalities, especially or specifically radiotherapy and immunotherapy. Well, someone commented and I got lost. Sorry. This is so brilliant here. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I have to read again. Okay. What are objectives during the award? With the Commonwealth Scholarship, I plan to entirely focus on my studies to enrich my knowledge about the biology of tumors and its treatment modalities, specifically radiotherapy and immunotherapy. In addition to that, I aim to sharpen my research skills, including experiment design, academic writing, data analysis, and interpretation and presentation, which I plan to pass on to younger Ugandan researchers during my career. Moreover, I intend to boost my skills in organization, grant writing, and reasoning through the weekly internal and external seminars organized by my department. Equally vital, I look forward to attending national and international conferences, which will give me an opportunity to meet various experts in the cancer research field, improve my knowledge. Eh? Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Sorry. Improve my knowledge sharing skills, spread my wings further, and boost my confidence. Whilst aiming at contributing something significant to cancer research, I aim to forge international connections and to experience and embrace new cultures since variety is a spice of life. Also, I desire to take on leadership roles to improve my social, communication, and leadership skills, which will to improve my social, communication, and leadership skills, which will be key in my daily life and in my long term goals of bettering the Ugandan healthcare system. Lastly, I plan to polish my public speaking skills by talking about my education experiences in the UK while giving appropriate advice to future students via my YouTube channel, Anit Maya. That's where it ends. Yeah, still short. But still, I mean, the words, that are allowed are also few. I think 200 words. Yeah, if I remember well. Yeah. So, what are your career plans in 5 years following the award? So, my career plans 5 years after my PhD. And here is my answer. After my PhD, I envisage continuing to engage in cancer research at a Ugandan university so that I apply and transfer the research skills I will obtain during my PhD studies. While working as a researcher, I want to strengthen my foundation towards my goals of educating Ugandans about cancer and their environment. Oh, this is continuing. While working as a researcher, I want to strengthen my foundation towards my goals of educating Ugandans about cancer and their environment, involving community people in early cancer screening activities, and promoting the use of vaccines for all possible cancers. Some people are unaware that the quality of our health is largely influenced by our environment. So, I aim to educate them on how polluted and I aim to educate them on how polluted and unhygienic environments fuel cancer development. Later, I intend to exclusively focus on cancer research. Cancer research is remarkably broad, so I want to converge my efforts on the biology and treatment of breast cancer, one of the most commonly diagnosed cancers and the top cause of cancer death in Africa and worldwide. The mortality or incidence ratios of breast cancer, especially in low and middle income countries, rise yearly, yet primary care, pathology, and treatment services are just developing. Investigating the origins of these cancers and the effectiveness of advanced radiotherapy will allow me to actively contribute to appropriate and affordable means of reducing the risk of tumor development and recurrency. Eventually, depending on the availability of resources, I want to establish early cancer detection projects, especially in my area, that will involve local people, community workers, nurses, doctors, researchers, and all other people determined to decrease the late stage cancers that are very expensive to treat and rarely cured. That's where it stops. Uh, what can I say here? Well, I talked about my major, the field I want to focus on, that is breast cancer. But what I have to, to tell you here is that I I'm interested in. I mean, even now, I had three main interests. That is brain cancer, brain tumors, cervical cancer, and breast cancers. And my first priority was brain, then breast and cancer. But since I wanted to be consistent with what I wrote, with my masters, I was like, okay, let me just be consistent and focus on breast cancer because I also love it, and it's also an issue in my country, Uganda. Yeah, but for my PhD, I'll be focusing on brain tumors. Yes, let's go to long-term career plans, and here is my answer. In the future, I want to spend a considerable amount of time conducting cancer research, focusing on treatment and prevention. Managing cancer globally is threatened daily with increasing deaths and a paucity of successful anti-cancer drugs. Currently, cancer ranks as the second leading cause of death in over 61% of all nations. And in 2020, about 19.3 million new cancer cases were reported, with 10 million deaths globally. Open the brackets. World Health Organization, 2020, semicolon, another person where I got this information from, Sang et al. uh, dot comma 2021, closing the bracket. I was just talking about citations, but I'll upload this later, so don't worry about that. I want to be part of the global research effort for this complex set of diseases, fighting to improve cancer treatment and care through research and education. However, even though I want to focus on research about cancer therapies and their possible combinations, I aim to position part of what I will do on reducing the risk of contracting cancer in the first instance, because cancers are exceedingly stubborn and their treatments, are not only expensive for most people, but also come with varying side effects. Finally, I plan to promote cancer research in Uganda, where it is currently very limited, by setting up well equipped cancer research laboratories at specific Ugandan universities. I want to set new standards for cancer care in Uganda, obliterate the myth that cancer is incurable, and ensure that all people obtain quality education and services for health maintenance and care, irrespective of their gender, political affiliations, and socioeconomic status. That's where it stops. Proposed qualification, Doctor of Philosophy. Yeah, that's where it ends. So, what have you noticed, or what can I comment on this? Well, most of the things I wrote for my PhD are similar to what I wrote in my master's, and that indicates consistency. Because I know I'm sending these essays to the people who have seen my essays before. So if I wrote if I wrote totally different things, they would be like, does she really want, does she really mean what she wants to work on, for her career? There is consistency in this. I think you have noticed that. And again, there is no complicated words. Maybe there are about only 2 or 3 words, but I didn't use complicated words. And what you have to learn from this is be simple. Be simple. Not every person who's going to be on the selection panel is in literature. Make it simple for them. Yeah. So from now on, I will just try to summarize what you have to write for these 3 sections, for in these 3 sections, and then after I will be going to answering the questions. About the scholarship. For objectives during the award, I focused on writing what I will obtain, knowledge, all the skills. I think I was expanding on the other developmental impact, number 3. I was just expanding that here. And then 5 years, in my career plans, 5 years after the award, I was just trying to see how I would apply the skills or any further studies I will take on after graduating for masters. Then for PhD, I was just trying to indicate to them what I will do, getting a job and then applying the skills, uh, and anything I will do regarding something that is outside my career. Maybe because I want to be in academia, right? So I mentioned about academia, doing research at a Uganda university, and then working on my side projects that are pertaining to what I am researching on, that is cancer. And then long-term career plans, yeah, that is in. I mean, I was just expanding what I will be what I would start in the 5 years. Yeah, not so much difference. And if you listened carefully, you noticed that I was just trying to 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 re-emphasize on what I will do or what I will add on what I'll be doing in 5 years after my graduation. If you're not careful, you'll end up repeating yourself in these essays. But you can minimize repeating your essays by planning. Yeah, it's unavoidable. Definitely, it's unavoidable because that also shows consistency. So you don't have to worry so much about that. Yeah. And what else? Yeah. Again, you don't have to worry if your essays are really short. If you have not, written all those 200 words, it's okay, provided the meaning comes out and you are as simple as you can. It's okay. Just do not repeat yourself and in the same section. For example, uh, in the long-term career plans, don't talk about the same thing in the first paragraph and then in the last paragraph. No, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. So let me go to the questions that have been asked. You also have the right to ask me any questions here. I'll be able to read them and answer them. The first question is do you need IELTS to apply for this scholarship? No, you don't need IELTS. I have already made a video about this, but if you haven't watched it yet, yeah, it's a chance, to get it from here, from this source. Yeah, you don't need IELTS to apply, to this scholarship. But depending on the universities you are going to apply to or you are intending to apply to, you may need IELTS. And I connect this to this tip. Do not indicate the universities before you check what they need. When you are making this application, you have to choose about 3 universities and you indicate them in this application. So before you choose those universities, check whether they need IELTS and the score they need. Some universities need a really high score and you don't have that score. So talk to them and tell them, you are good at English and, show them some evidence. Or maybe you have been studying, you've been doing your bachelor's degree in English. Show that. Some universities will accept, some will not. But if you talk to them, I've noticed that these universities are so understanding. I was in Japan. I did my bachelor's degree entirely in English. I told Oxford University, I don't have IELTS scores, but I did my bachelor's in English and I come from Uganda where the medium of instruction is English. And they were like, okay, it's okay. Just ask your advisor to send us, a document that confirms that you've been studying in English. He did that and I was able to join Oxford University without any IELTS scores. You understand what I'm meaning? So talk to your university. Talk to your university and confirm that. The University of Birmingham allows Ugandans to submit their O-level certificate. If you have a credit in English, they accept that. Some universities will accept, English scores from your USCE or your high school results or your lower secondary school results if you passed English. But first talk to them. But for the Commonwealth, you don't need it. Can I apply to both master's scholarships and then the shared scholarships? Yes, you can do that. If you have not gotten the master's one, you can get the shared. So what can I say about this master's thing? The master's is for nominating bodies in your country because you cannot apply to the Commonwealth Scholarship directly. You cannot. You have to go through nominating bodies, and it's your responsibility to look for nominating bodies in your country. Before you choose any nominating bodies, you have to contact them before, because some nominating bodies have different deadlines for accepting these applications. I'll give you an example. I'm in Uganda, and the Ministry of Education is one of the nominating bodies. Their deadline to accept the applications was 9th September. But the Commonwealth Scholarship is still on. You understand that? So if you want to be nominated by anybody you know in your country, contact them as soon as possible so that you know when they will be able to accept the applications. And yeah, because the deadlines for nominating bodies and for the Commonwealth, the online application, they differ. They are really different. Yes. So for shared scholarship, it's through the university. And that is the probably the easiest for students who are coming from developing countries where there is maybe some form of corruption. I don't have any evidence for this, but based on what I've heard, it's better for you to apply to both. Yeah, and the shared scholarship, definitely there is no corruption involved because it's the UK university that recommends students basing on your academic ability. Again, here, contact your university and inform them that you would like to apply for the shared scholarship, and then they will tell you when they will be able to select the candidates. I have, you know, I have talked to various students who have applied to universities via shared. You know, the online application was still on and they applied, but the university told them, sorry, we have already selected the candidates for shared. So contact your universities as soon as possible to know that you are still in the, in the time range where the universities select candidates. But you can apply to both. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, how can I get the nominating bodies? Yes, the easiest way for you to know the nominating bodies in your country is to go to the website and you click apply. When you click apply, you will reach a point where they say select the when you put in your country and then you put in your email address in the application thing online, they'll bring all the nominating bodies in your country, and then they'll ask you select the nominating body. So you will know the nominating bodies, you note them down, and then you contact all those nominating bodies. If they the one that responds to you first is the one that you can go with. Yeah, that is the easiest way. Or you can also go to the website, but on the website there are limited nominating bodies for some reason. But if you go in the online application and then you go to that option of selecting nominating bodies, they bring so many, and then out of those many you select about two or three, and then you contact them. For girls who are in science and technology, I recommend you contact Fawe if you're from Uganda. Fawe, contact Fawe. Fawe, yeah, Fawe, they support girls, so and they only accept applications from girls. So boys, don't send applications to Fawe. Yeah. Okay. What is the next question is thank you so much. Microfiles. Microfiles, you are my fan. I love you so much. I also love your videos. What is the difference between shared and then a master's scholarships? Well, you'll get the same stipend, but the difference is the source of the stipend matters. For master's scholarships, you mainly go through nominating bodies in your country. For shared, you go through the university as your nominating body, the UK university as your nominating body. And to get the stipend, you get your stipends for shared, you get your stipends from the university. But for masters, you get your stipends directly from the Commonwealth. And what else? But the services are the same. The essays are the same. Everything is the same. The only thing is that maybe the nominating body, the source of the stipend, and yeah, but other things are the same. Yeah. So don't be like, oh, I wish I was here, I would decide. No, same stipend, same things. And then the next question is do you have to pay to apply for this scholarship? No, you don't have to pay. Everything is online. Don't have to pay any single coin to apply to this scholarship. So please apply. Try it. Uh, do they give a paid internship? Oh, for masters, I have never heard about this. Masters is just 1 year. So it's really unlikely that you're going to do, an internship, maybe if it's part of your course, then you can do, but it's 1 year. How are you going to do all this? I mean, I don't think so. Yeah, and I have not read anywhere that they provide a paid internship. I have not read that. Um, they provide MRes, that is M research. No. For masters, what I know, they provide degrees that are taught, 1 year taught masters programs. And what do I mean by this? For these programs, you'll have about maybe 5 months studying theory, and then you'll have about 4 months doing a research project where you will end up writing a dissertation and submitting it. Yeah, that's how it is. For MRS, no. MPhil, yes, there are 1 year MPhils that are offered. So try those ones. But MRS, 2 years, no. Yeah. Only 1 year taught programs are offered. From my point, not from my point of view, but from my understanding. Sorry. Yes. Can I work in the UK after? Oh, the rule is if you get this scholarship, immediately after the award, you have to go back to your country. That's why I'm in Uganda. I was trying to apply to various jobs or going for my PhD. Yeah, I got a PhD in Oxford. I got a PhD in Oxford. I applied for the Commonwealth Scholarship for funding. They said no, Annette. Please, you said you will go back to your country to implement what you promised. So I'll go back. I went back to Uganda. I mean, I came back to Uganda because I'm in Uganda. Yeah, so you'll have to go back to Uganda for at least a year for them to consider your next application. I came back to Uganda. I reapplied for my PhD, and this time they gave it to me. You understand? Yeah, so you have to come back here. Maybe the rules will change, but they cannot give you another scholarship until you come back here for at least 1 year, and then you consider your next application. What is the hardest thing in the application? The hardest thing is essays. Essays are really hard. Yeah, there are so many from my point of view. The essays are so many, and there are high chances of you repeating yourself. And it's really hard to get people to review your essays because they are really long. If it's just a personal statement, 1 page pages, it's easy to get someone to go through it. But man, 11 pages, 8 pages, that is a lot. So writing essays is a lot, and that's what's my advice here. Start early. Otherwise, you'll sweat as they dry. And doesn't make sense for you to submit medium work. Submit high quality work if you want to win this scholarship because, oh man, there are really a lot of candidates who have done a lot. They've done a lot, even though their English is not that good. They cannot, write so well, but they are using simple English and their points are clear. And you can clearly see that, oh, these are definitely leaders. They're leaders already. You understand? So try to make your application stand out. Yeah, I'll be reading my essays for both masters and PhD, and you will learn something from it. And the next time I will be here live, I will be reading my personal statement and then my voluntary leadership, because that's also important. They want to see what you've done. Yes. Yeah, but essays are really hard. Yeah. Study outline and plan of study required for masters in Commonwealth. Okay, I can read that. I can read that for you, Ujara. Yeah, Fatima, because you've been commenting so much, I can do that for you. Yeah, I can do that for you. Yeah, I will go and open that and I read it and I show you how I wrote mine. Yeah, so yes, that is the offer I'm going to give you because of you, Fatima. Because of you, I'll do that. Yeah. Yeah, and and what's hard about that is because most of us are really not so good at writing, so writing is really hard, and yeah, I mean, we are not so taught how to write. So starting what to write, I mean, for most candidates, they know what to write, but putting it on the paper and organizing ideas to make sure they make sense is the problem. But once you write it, you feel like, oh my goodness, I spend days writing only these paragraphs, and you're like, oh, and that's when you start respecting writing, and you be like, writing is actually hard. And if someone reads their essays, you might be like, oh my goodness, wait, their essays are not that strong. But I'm like, hey, write yours and I see. Write yours and I see. you will spend days to come up with the same amount of work that person came up with. Writing is hard. What are the benefits of the Commonwealth? Traveling, TB test, tuition, stipend. They can give stipend to your family as well. Yes. Can I submit my essays before the deadline? Yes. You can submit your essays before the deadline, and you have the right to edit your essays before the deadline closes. You can submit and still go back to your application and edit it and save. Yeah. Yes, can I take my family? Yes, I recommend you take your family for PhD, not for masters. Masters is hectic. Since it's 1 year, it's short, very intense. There is a cock here which is taking all my pace. Anyways, okay, let's continue. Yeah, I recommend you take you take your family for PhD, not for masters. Masters is intense, 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 intense. So it might be challenging for you to settle in with your family, responsibilities, and then because your scores matter. It's becoming darker, but I'll do my best. Let me continue before it becomes worse or it rains. Perfect. So I am done, guys. If there is any questions, please 1 year MRS. If it's 1 year, this I think this is okay, but they indicate taught. Yeah, I have to confirm this. But if it's 1 year, it should be fine because they said 1 year. Yeah, so I think this should be fine. But I think most of research are either 1.5 or 2 years. But they offer MPhil. Yeah, I've seen somebody at the University of Edinburgh doing MPhil. Yeah, for 1 year. So let me read the outline and the plan of study for masters. For Fatima, okay, this is for PhD. Doesn't help that much. Okay, let me go straight. Okay, proposed institution: Oxford, Manchester, Glasgow. Okay, perfect. So let me first read for you what I will study for you to better connect to my essays. I wish I can kick this cock. Jesus Christ. And it's becoming darker. It's going to rain. Let me see if this can help a bit. Oh yeah, my torch can help a bit to see, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter whether I have enough light or not. What matters is what you hear, right? Let's go. First institution, that is radiation biology, and that's where I went, Oxford University. Manchester, I had chosen cancer research and molecular medicine, and then Glasgow, I had chosen cancer research and precision oncology. Yes, but you can see that I'm in the same line. That is cancer. Contact with the proposed universities. Sorry, someone was passing here. After receiving information about the Commonwealth Scholarship, I applied to Oxford University, Manchester, and Glasgow. The results are not yet out. Perfect. And this indicates that if you have not applied, it's okay. You can let them know that you have just applied. Yeah, but don't tell them that you have not applied. Show something positive. Tell them you have applied. Actually, by that time, I had applied to only one university, but I was planning to send my application to the remaining two universities. So let them know that you have applied. Study outline. Okay, but I'm writing this study outline basing on radiotherapy because that was my first choice. Oxford University, radiation biology. And when I talk about radiation biology, I mean cancer development and radiotherapy. So this is how I wrote it. Let me turn on this light. I hope it might help a bit. This is better, guys. Better. Why didn't I think about it before? Crazy mind. Frozen. Study outline. Needless to say, cancer is one of the deadliest Needless to say, cancer is one of the deadliest diseases globally, yet the genetic and environmental inducers of most tumors are not well documented, thus leaving a myriad of gaps to be filled by curious scientists. That time I was trying to pretend that I'm one of those curious scientists, but I'm not anyway. Let's continue. Through my lecture, through my lectures and independent research, I want to deeply understand the genes and hormones that initiate cancer cell growth and how the environment interacts with these genes to promote cancer progression. Additionally, I intend to concentrate on the mechanisms of cancer treatments in brackets, such as radiotherapy and immunotherapy, mechanisms of how cancer treatments work, comma, and why some people develop resistance to some anti-cancer drugs. To put my learning into practice and to improve on my cancer research techniques, I plan to spend considerable amounts of time in the laboratory to engage in experiments about cancers, tumors. Detailed plan of study. Since childhood, oh Jesus Christ. I'm getting nervous because it's going to rain, but let me rush. Since childhood, I have always been spellbound by science subjects, especially biology, because I always wanted to know why and how things happen the way they do. After losing close relatives to cancer, I decided to focus on oncology, where my future career falls. Those courses cover detailed information about carcinogenesis, its prevention, and its cures. I think I mentioned this because the question is actually detailed. Why UK, why this course, and all that. I don't remember well, but I think if you go back to the question under the detailed plan of study, there are so many parts we have to cover, and that's why I at first I was like, was I going to off track? But no, yeah, I have remembered. Yeah, let's continue. Those courses cover detailed information about carcinogenesis, its prevention, and its cures. Lectures in those universities are organized through research placements, workshops, and seminars of small, diverse groups. Diversity will encourage me to freely exchange my ideas and hone my social skills while shaping me to be more mature, whatever it is, mature and independent. Unlike Uganda, the UK is a socio-economically advanced country with excellent ranked oncology universities. No. With excellent teaching standards and multiple globally top ranked oncology universities conducting postgraduate education entirely in English. Additionally, I look forward to experiencing the beach culture and to better my English since I will have a chance to interact more with the locals. From the beach culture, I hope to learn something in brackets outside of cancer that will transform my perspective and then transfer it to Uganda. Truly, it was after coming to Japan that I realized how important our environment is for our survival. Yeah, remember that when I was applying for this, I was in Japan doing my bachelor's degree. So don't be like, are you Ugandan? Yeah, I'm in Ugandan. Let's continue. Truly, it was after coming to Japan that I realized how important our environment is for our survival. In 2017, I started a project of planting trees in Uganda, mainly to create jobs for some people and to educate people about the importance of the environment in our survival through action. So you can see that I was trying to really, show how relevant I am in this, world, but I'm not that relevant. Yeah, so please promote yourself, guys. Promote it. I am interested in investigating the genetic and environmental persuaders and drivers of tumorigenesis. Tumorigenesis is a term that is used in cancer. Tumorigenesis is like development of tumors. Yeah. I am interested in investigating the genetic and environmental persuaders and drivers of tumorigenesis because most cancer drugs function by targeting these compounds or hormones that drive tumorigenesis. With my knowledge, skills, and advisors, it's raining. Let me try to increase my volume, guys. But I'll finish soon anyway. Yeah. With my knowledge, skills, and advisors, I I am ready to go back to Africa to serve humanity and make a positive change in cancer research, its prevention, and treatment. If I am granted a chance, I am excited to focus entirely on my growth academically and intellectually to achieve what I am headed for. Yeah, I'm done. Keywords number one, cancer, number two, education, number three, research. The next one is personal statement. That's not for today because it's raining, guys. So sorry. It's raining. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. I hope it's been so lovely for me to be able to be here and be given a chance to answer all the questions that I received regarding this scholarship. If you have any further questions, please put them in the comment section. Thank you so much. And it's Maya. Don't forget to support back by sharing and subscribing. I'll come back here to read my personal statement and voluntary something. Yeah, both for my PhD and for my master's. Yes, for those who want to know about the study plan and detailed plan of study for the PhD, you can reach out. I'll be able to, to see if I'm able to read that or not, because the other one is a project which is really personal, but I'll do my best to see what I can do for you. Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll end this live now. Thank you, guys.